too.
Jason's trying to be live. Can you hear me now? I get my
I
video.
tell you,
Noah.
Jason,
Noah gonna be here?
Sabotaged your equipment because you talked about doing another YouTube channel.
There's Ryan.
Yeah, I told you, dude. I told you.
Ryan.
I know, it's so weird.
It's fixed for me in Arch. I was the first one to have it not working and first one to get it working again. Nice shirt.
OBS
Yeah, but don't you
works
still have
perfectly
that?
in Windows.
Are you not using the app image anymore?
No, I'm using the regular OBS from the repos.
What?
Yep.
Ooh,
I
weird.
think so,
Who's
but I don't
doing
think
that?
it
What's
was
that?
OBS.
Background noise.
It's Larry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was saying I don't think it's OBS that changed it. It's still 24.0.6. So
Look at that. DasGeek Live.
All right.
Right.
what's going on? in your
Welcome,
live,
Rocco.
Hello, Tim in the chat.
Ryan? Hey, Rocco.
All right.
Aram?
Are you not using the app image anymore?
Kind of wish
All
Zeb's
right,
video was
so
just
let's
truckers
see.
in Europe.
Can I make this? Yeah, there we go.
So is
All
Rocco
right,
going to
that
give
looks
us the
decent.
official "we're open for business," or are we just going to pretend like he has it on?
I don't know if we get that treatment.
But are we open for business yet?
Oh, we're open.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Let's say we are.
I'm not here for business. I'm here for pleasure only.
DasGeek has gone live anyway.
Hello.
Everyone here is what
It's
counts.
a party.
So the overlay looks pretty cute, except it doesn't kind of not working well to the.
Hey, YouTube, let me know if you guys can hear the entire group or just me.
Oh, we're open for business.
Talk, group, talk.
Hi, group.
Entire group.
Hello.
Hello.
We're just Jason.
Hello, YouTube.
There we go. I had my audio muted for my chat, so they're probably like, "Really, dude? Really?"
Hello, blank expression.
So are you
So
live
who's
as well,
here with
Jason?
us?
Did you
We've
say?
got Gabriel.
Yes.
Did I say your name right, Gabriel?
Yep.
We got Zeb. We've got Larry, Jason, Alan, Haplo. What's up?
Yo, how goes
Nate,
it?
Eric, Ryan, Chris, Mark. Mark is here.
Hey, man.
You might know Mark from the guy who was the genius behind the Make It Linux gaming video.
Mark, you
That
genius, you.
All
That
him.
is high
I mean, it
praise,
was
but I'll
community. You
accept
know, community.
That is high praise, but I'll
contributed
accept
a lot of the
it.
gameplay, but Mark is the one that just made that like the most polished looking thing in the world.
Nice, Mark. Awesome job.
Yeah, that took maybe almost 6 months of off and on work, but I was pretty busy, so you know.
Yeah, and
Right.
and the
Right.
best part about it is that he showed it to me. I was like, "Hey, you should do more work."
Yeah, by
That
that
was
point
awesome.
I was so fed up. I was just like, I just need to send this out. And then luckily Michael pointed out that there were just a few minor tweaks that could be really worth it. So thanks for that, actually. That was
Yeah, you're welcome.
great.
I was, I just felt like every time I was like, "Hey, I can help out and annoy you with it."
Pretty much. But that's what I needed. I needed someone to tell me like the problems with it, right? Because if you don't do that, you get into this rut and you just don't notice them anymore.
Right.
Hey, guys, I need to ask you a technical question here.
In the world.
It looks like my microphone input is kind of reflecting the chat and not just me on OBS.
No, we don't hear an echo.
No.
Yeah, you don't hear an echo, but the stream.
Oh,
does.
maybe on your stream. I'm not on your
Yeah,
stream.
On the stream, it is, yeah. Now, they seem to have made a slight change to Pulse. So, what I've found a lot of is it puts up a phantom monitoring of such and such.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
look at all the
advanced audio
virtual
properties.
stuff as well as the other stuff. And I've got one going called Monitor of Family 17th, which is my main desktop. And if I don't mute that, everything echoes back on me.
Usually when that happens, Jason, I switch it to in OBS to another output and then back to the right output on the mic and the output itself.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay, let me.
So, Rocco, do you have any tips for my camera won't turn on?
Did you hit the video button?
That's what I've been hitting when it's not turning on.
Plug it and plug it back in.
Okay, thank you, Rocco.
Rocco, I've never seen your room.
Thanks, Dell Tech support.
I've never
Try
seen
turning
your-
it on and off again.
Guess what OBS is doing
Change
now?
the port.
Rocco, I've never
Rocco.
seen your room in daylight before. I never knew the tiles were blue.
Stop it.
I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. I
Rocco,
like
you
it.
don't
now.
come out during the day.
You don't.
Now OBS is crashing as soon as I apply settings.
Yep, it does
So
do
that's-
that when you change audio inputs and outputs at times. So
Man,
that is an
Shouldn't
issue.
do.
one.
Boy,
Yep, it happened to
You know
me.
what? I think it solved it. So
Feature.
the joys of OBS. Glad I don't use it.
It must be a bug somewhere in OBS for that to happen.
Ryan, do you know that
Mm-hmm.
chat is disabled for your stream?
It is?
Uh-oh.
Seriously?
Well,
Your
maybe
stream, by
it's.
the way. It's,
I see
it's like-
people
it looks
chatting,
like
so I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
maybe that
it's
was the
open.
first stream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's
All
there.
right,
it's working.
YouTube.
How dare you,
let me know
Eric?
how
These are
how
professionals
everything's
here.
Yeah,
going
we know what we're
now.
doing
Ah,
here.
Cool, thanks.
We're all
Well, how
professional
dare you,
YouTubers
Rocco?
and podcasters.
How
These are
dare you, Rocco,
professionals.
imply that we're professionals?
You are professionals.
Don't put
Hey,
that weight on
guys,
us.
Yeah,
thought it was bad
don't make
enough.
us actually have to have a standard to live up to.
There's
Oh,
something
man.
definitely
Right, so I
going
think-
on in your stream, Ryan, because it looks like it's a 1 hour 19 video, not the live stream. And the chat shows as top chat replay.
I think you're on the old one because
Oh.
my
I'm looking at
my one
I'm looking at
crashed. And
Ryan's
then,
now. It's fine.
yeah, and then I brought it back. So you know how YouTube makes two of them because it's dumb like that.
Well, thanks for
All
being
right,
here,
you're
everybody. I think I've got all of my my issues squared away, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Is my audio working?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, your audio on your
Sounds like
channel now, Jason, is perfect.
Yeah, Jason, I should I
Okay,
tune
thanks,
it
Ed.
up just a notch.
Am I working too?
Yep.
Yes, Mattias.
And
Jason,
Michael
if I could
sounds
get rid of
good.
all my issues just by joining a podcast, it
And
would
Ryan
be
sounds
amazing.
good. Rocco, I mean, just trying to watch chat and Zoom. Now I'm trying to watch chat and Zoom and 3 channels. It's ridiculous.
Good thing I don't have to do anything.
I'm
right now,
trying.
ain't
This
it?
is why I don't do live very much because I'm trying to, I'm going to talk with you guys, and then I'm keeping an eye on the YouTube chat, and then I noticed that Zoom chat, there's some stuff in there.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Blimey, yeah.
Now you know why I have 10 monitors in my room. I could put stuff everywhere.
Well, I've got a 49-inch ultra wide, but I have to literally crane my neck to see everything.
Yep.
You
So
need one of
jealous.
those grandma seats in the car.
It is
Wonderful.
so fantastic. I love it.
And does it
I
mute
might have to get
OBS
one.
and everything?
It mutes the mic output, so so nothing picks it up, whether it's OBS, Zoom, nothing. So
I
it
bet that's
just
come in handy with your coffee you've been having.
dude, I wouldn't have been able to make the streams had I not had this button.
Rocco, is it what is it plugged into? Is it plugged into a USB audio interface or just directly into the PC?
So the mic, it goes from the mic is XLR, then the mic goes into this call switch, and then it goes from the call switch into the cloud lifter, and then
You're calling
into
it a
the,
cough switch. Is that actually what it's called?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
actually called a cough switch.
Yes. Interesting.
Oh wow.
It's awesome, dude. So
I
it's
could
It's
really- I
so
could
it's a
really-
foot pedal mute button.
That's so
Yeah.
exactly what it
Essentially,
is.
because
Brilliant.
I'm constantly clearing my throat, and that would be a great thing to have.
Well, what I
Rocco,
would
can you
ha-
plug
the
it in
prob-
remotely into someone else's mic? 'Cause we could really use it for Michael when he's going into one.
The problem is I
man,
would have to
was
mute.
just gonna make that joke.
If like on the live stream.
Oh, just because I'm talking. I got you.
I would not only have to mute Zoom, but I would have to mute OBS because if I needed to cough, because the global mute shortcut wasn't working for me in so
It works beautiful in Plasma.
right.
Although when I
here
say
we
that,
go.
it's no, that's not. It's not a thing.
Hang on,
It
hang
works beautiful in Plasma, except for the fact that you have to activate it 3 times for it to actually start like recognizing that you're hitting the button.
But
And
that's
then-
what I wanted to get
14
away
minutes.
from, Michael. I wanted
Yeah.
to get away from it possibly working
Right.
I needed
the software.
I needed a sure way that this would work, and this
No,
is
no, no.
just
I'm
gonna.
Well, Michael's
not,
muted
like,
right now,
saying-
but it's still I hear him.
It's okay. Shush. Shush. I'm not saying that this is like. I'm not saying Plasma is great because of this. I'm just saying like, and also it took them 10 years to get to it. But like, I'm just saying like, this the way I have it is like the same, but on a software level, and it bothers me so often, especially like when I mute myself, and then the click of the keyboard is in the recording. Like the having a foot pedal thing just sounds fantastic. And I need the link.
Has Michael already started
all
whining
link.
everyone? Is that what I'm hearing?
No.
Is there
I'm
whining going
excited
on?
because Rocco told us about his foot pedal mute thing, which is awesome, and I want to get a link.
Okay.
So
You
what
should
you need
try
to do now, Paco, is
Lumiri
you give him
instead
your
of KD.
affiliate link.
That's what I'm going. Well, I don't have an
You
affiliate
should.
link.
You should. do an affiliate
Oh,
link.
shucks.
I had an affiliate link, but the problem was nobody bought anything from it, so they decided to say, "Hey, nobody bought anything from your affiliate link, so you don't have it anymore."
Oh, come on,
Oh,
people.
man.
Buy stuff from Rocco's non-existent affiliate link.
It's non-existent
I just
anymore.
wanted to mention, I just found out of a command for pulse audio control where you can toggle a specific input. So maybe you can set that as a global shortcut, and that would work everywhere.
Yeah, I mean that does it that should work in terms of like as long as you have this, like if you do the toggle one, it should work, but I don't know if you can do like a regular
this.
full mute system versus like muting the individual device.
Well, plus, like I said, I wanted to be 100% sure it was muted. I didn't want to.
Of course, but if anyone is interested in something like that but doesn't want to invest in hardware, maybe. Okay, I'll just post this in the.
Uh-oh, Rocco
link.
froze.
Posted.
On my
And-
screen, anyway.
The only thing you have to
Yeah, he
change is
did.
the actual name of the interface.
I did.
Yeah.
Nope,
So,
he's back
Ryan,
now.
You're back.
I'm guessing, Ryan, on your stream, the people without videos are second-class citizens.
Yeah, if you ain't got video, you're second-class citizen. You turn on your video, you're nothing to us.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm
Is he so
teasing.
harsh on him?
So Ryan,
I don't know
Hang on,
how
let
to
me just
show
turn my
people.
video on then. Hang on.
Ryan,
Video's not working.
There you
Ryan,
go.
I think
See,
my
now you
video.
showed up, Zev.
Where's your video?
I think
the
I have
link.
the hide non-video
PC freak.
participants for when we're doing. There we go. That should look better for everyone. Now everyone's showing up. Even if you
except
don't turn
us.
your video on.
Except us.
Yeah, why is your video not on, Michael?
I haven't done my
He
hair
hasn't
yet.
combed his hair yet.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
he hasn't combed his beard.
Oh, Zeb knew
Unbelievable.
exactly. Zeb knew
Hat on
exactly.
or something.
But
All
actually,
right,
I'm just
so Jason-
setting up some stuff.
Yo.
To officially kick us off, I have to ask because let me first of all preface this by saying my gaming life changed forever when something called Ultima Online came out. And when Ultima
that's old
Online
school,
came
man.
out when I was younger, there no longer could I play single player games, first person shooters, anything because the whole world of MMORPG just overtook my life and nothing else seemed to give you that same like want to keep grinding and getting better gear
Yes.
and everything like an MMO. And I've noticed you've been putting so much of these teasers out there and it's killing me on a game called Phantasy Star.
So
So
my moment, the moment you just described, that was my moment 20 years ago with Phantasy Star Online for the Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
I mean,
yes.
this was a game that it was unheard of existing on a console, and it was technically the first MMORPG on a console. You could even plug in your Dreamcast keyboard and chat with people, and it was incredible. It was that loot chase. It was just that perfect blend of loot and parties and the combat is so good. It's basically okay. So Phantasy Star Online 2, picture an MMO that kind of has anime and sci-fi elements fused in, and the action is all real time. And every class feels completely different to play. And there's just it's almost overwhelming once you first jump into it, but it is so much fun. And what they've done with it's a free-to-play game, right? And it's one of the only free-to-play games that I have ever played where it doesn't feel like content is locked away. It doesn't feel like progression is locked away. There's always something cool around every turn, and it's just yeah. Well, this is okay.
you're geeking out and I love it.
I'm
Is
just-
your
I'm just-
audio low for anybody else? Is Jason's audio a little low? I
Yeah,
see
it's
some
a little
nodding.
Is it? Okay, let me
Slightly.
Let me.
Sounds fine to me.
It's like 10, 15% low.
Yeah.
Sounds
10,
decent,
15%. Okay. Well, Zoom has this habit
Yeah.
of controlling my audio. So let me see here.
Because I want to
So,
dig
Ryan-
into this a little bit because I never
Okay,
got
is
into.
Is this better?
Yes, much better.
That's better. Okay. All
For
right,
Ultima
great.
Online, Ryan, how many shirts did you make?
Oh my gosh! So did you remember in Ultima Online when you would go to make things like furs and shirts and stuff that if you got overweight you'd have to put it on the ground and then ninja looters would come around and try to swipe it up and put it in their inventory, and it was just Ultima Online was before everyone got into this idea that you keep the stuff that you earn forever. Ultima Online was the wild west when you could have the best gear that you spent 4 months grinding for, and then you get killed and somebody takes it and there's no getting it back. You don't relog back in and you have your gear. You don't keep it. You lose everything.
That's
And
kind of like Dark Souls, right?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
Dark Souls,
very
you die and
aggressive.
It's kind of a form of permadeath. So that was really
you
innovative.
get to keep your skills, so you're same level and same power, so that does, but all your gear is gone. Yeah.
Can you go back and pick it up?
If you can get to it before
If
somebody
you're able
else
to
does.
before anybody else does, right?
And so
Okay,
this created this environment which was so unique where people would come up with all these unique ways of taking other people out. One example is if you got powerful enough, you could tame a dragon. So what one person did is they tamed a dragon and then portaled them to the beginner level of Ultima Online, which then killed everybody, including the guards in the town, because everyone was up for killing. And then they just looted everybody's body in the whole vicinity. Or one time I got caught by a guy who left gold coin trail all the way through the forest, and I'm picking up each gold coin trail, picking them up, and then it leads to a mob of them who then kill you, take all their gold back and all your stuff. Like it was just, it was crazy,
Breadcrumbs. It's when MMOs were hard.
Yes,
It's like
exactly.
breadcrumbs.
Yeah, it was breadcrumbs, and I fell right for it. I was like, "This is amazing!" Like an idiot.
Look at all the
right?
shinies.
Does it make
My
me old that I bought
precious.
Ultima 1 when it came out? Because that scares me.
That's awesome, though. Ultima, the
No,
original.
that makes you seasoned.
Wise. Yes.
Yes, seasoned.
The
You're a
gray.
seasoned
Exactly.
gamer.
One of the only major games.
Anyway,
that
Ryan,
still does that.
I mean, it's free. It's on Xbox. It's an open beta. So if you have an Xbox,
I do have an Xbox, so you can't play it on PC, or you can, but it's
not yet.
Okay.
It'll be out on PC this spring. So I don't know what the date is, but
So did they make a new one, or is this still the original one that everybody's just going back to?
no. This is okay. So this is a sequel to Phantasy Star Online. It's Phantasy Star Online 2, but Sega, for some inexplicable reason, waited almost 8 years to bring it from Japan to the West. It's been out in Japan for 7 years. It is the most popular RPG in Japan.
Nice.
And it's huge. It's huge over there. So Phil Spencer of Xbox, he actually was instrumental in helping Sega bring it over to the West. And so they've got, their whole like timed exclusive for it, but it's eventually going to come to PC, PS4, Switch. So it'll be on everything.
Will it run on Linux though?
Well, no, because it uses Game Guard.
Oh man, the Game
And
Guard always.
I
Why?
think
Easy.
I think Game Guard is a total deal breaker on Linux. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. I mean, I wanted nothing more, you guys, than to be able to say, yes, I'm playing Phantasy Star Online 2, like sequel to my favorite game ever on Linux. But
see, that's how I feel about Doom Eternal. My Windows partition's probably going to get some work out here because I can't live without Doom. Doom is my jam, man. I love some Doom. So
It will run eventually. It needs some tweaks in both Proton and I think the graphics drivers, some more newer Vulkan features, and then it's gonna run.
I did see somebody got it working. It was terrible performance, but they were getting like on Reddit 15 frames per second. They did some wine tweaks, so I think it is coming. And I'm patient. Like I want to play it, but I don't have to play it this second. So I'm probably gonna wait at least another week and then see and hope that I don't have to boot into that partition. But some games just call to me.
On it. Yeah, I know. It's the same thing for me, but it's just costs too much at this point.
$59.
Quick note.
Yeah. Definitely.
Quick note. Sorry for interrupting. Whoever's typing, just want you to know that you mute, please, when you're typing, so it doesn't interfere with the Well, it's not a bad sound. It's just if a lot of people do that.
Hey,
it
for
kinda
geeks, that
becomes
sounds
storm.
like ASMR.
I'm working
you know?
on a pine.
No,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Somebody's
it's
got the
not a bad
clicky
sound.
keyboard,
I don't
yeah.
have a problem with it. It's just like if a lot of people did it, it would kind of get too much. So
Yeah.
I'm currently working on pine phone, so I will mute myself.
Jason, what's this game called on the Xbox, and where'd you get it from?
Phantasy Star Online 2. It's in open beta, so it's in the store. You can just download it.
So is this a game that I could play with my son? We just started playing Sea of Thieves.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
yeah, it's very easy to party up, and it's a lot easier than I actually am so hardcore that I was playing on the Japanese servers on PC.
Look at you.
Hey, there's Michael. What's up, dude?
Camera works.
Still not on his stool.
Finally shade.
Comb
your hair. Is on the stool. I don't want to.
Xbox.
Mess
you know,
up
the Xbox Live system makes it really, really easy to party up with your friends and stuff. So, and then you can have alliances, and there's perks to being part of an alliance, and you have entirely separate quests when you're part of an alliance, and you have like your own little headquarters that you can go to, and then you've got your personal quarters that you can decorate, and you've got I want to start a YouTube channel just for this game. That's how much I love it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Dang. So if I join, I'll definitely get carried by you, and that's okay. I'm okay with that.
We should start the Stool Alliance or something like
The Stool.
that. Like
oh my
the
goodness.
Alliance. We'll call it the Alliance of Stools.
And it'll be the most powerful guild on the server.
No,
Yes.
you can't do that. You have to call it Stooliance.
Stooliance. Nice.
Just
But why is Xbox telling me I've got to pay $3.99 for Phantasy Star 2?
But you have to
Is
pay
that
what?
$3.99 it says here in the UK.
What? Oh. Okay, Zeb, you're gonna have to change your Xbox account to any zip code in the US.
I see.
That might fix it. That's what I did, so I can confirm that works. You just the Xbox store needs to say, oh yeah, they're in the US, so they can play it.
Rocco, why did you do this to me? He sent me a link to Doom Eternal with a discount that only makes it $49. Like it hasn't been hard enough to resist.
That's what I do best.
Brian, if you want some
Thank you,
news,
man.
I've checked out the Proton, the report on GitHub, and the thread's like 500 ones long, but it does look like people have got it running.
Oh, really?
They don't need that weird pirated DRM-free version. I think people
Well,
have got
there
it
you
running
go.
with the real one. So,
Yeah, so Bethesda accidentally
also-
released. I think they released it initially without the de novo DRM, and so there's tons of cracked versions. But I mean, yeah,
yeah,
but
it'll
looks
get
like
there. It'll
we're
get
gonna
there.
need
I
to
mean,
work without the DRM, so that's pretty good. Because I was worried it would like be blocked, but it seems like it just works.
did anyone expect, or was I just being naive? Did anyone expect Doom Eternal to just work right out of the gate?
I did. Yeah, I was being naive because of the Vulcan thing. I thought, yeah, this will
Vulcan
run,
Doom
and they don't have
2016 is
multiplayer.
beautiful, and yeah.
I certainly was
Oh, well.
hoping it would work. Yeah.
It's just a matter of time anyway, guys. I'm one of those people that I just absolutely want to play this game. I'm just waiting right now. I want the price to come down and the compatibility with Linux to be there, and then I'm gonna be all in.
The compatibility with Linux is not going to take long. People are going to hack away on that 24/7.
That's the great
Yeah,
thing
the only
about
key
Linux
problem
community.
here is like I think it's like two Vulkan features that are missing right now. And what people have done on what the video you see on Reddit is they actually hacked the DRM-free binary and replaced the system calls they are still not supported currently in Linux with ones that shouldn't do anything particularly interesting, but they work. So again, it's a hack, and I'm surprised it works. But
Yeah, but there's a patched version of Wine that now has those features exposed. So yeah, I mean that was an initial hack, but you don't need to do that anymore. I think
This is
think
what
you
I
can
s-
just compile Wine 5.0.5 and it should work okay-ish.
Nice.
We'll see
I
what
said this
happens.
on Destination Linux last week. If you tell the Linux community you can't do this, just watch out. They will do it just to spite you. Even if they have no plans of playing it, they'll still hack it just to let you know your DRM's crap and we did it.
I don't think it has anything to do with the DRM.
Maybe not, but the point is they'll still hack it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get it running on here, and I'll try and share my screen if it does. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Do you have the DRM-free version?
No, apparently it doesn't. The DRM is not a blocker. The stuff in the Nouveau that it's using works on Proton. Apparently, I don't know. We'll see.
It's
I'll try.
encouraging. Yeah, I thought it just came down to something like it wasn't reading the driver correctly, Because when I fired it up, it was really interesting. It was telling me Windows driver versions. Like it said you're on NVIDIA 337, but you need NVIDIA 442. And I'm on NVIDIA 440. So that was strange. But yeah, it'll get worked out.
So for everyone in everyone's chat, if you are a patron of anybody in the DLN network, Linux for Everyone, Tux Digital, DasGeek Channel, Destination Linux, you can join in here on the Zoom link. The creator should have shared that link for all their patrons to join. So if you want to join in the conversation, feel free. This is just an open conversation. I think a lot of people with everything going on just needed a chance to hang out and talk, so you guys can bring up any subject you want. Only rule is please keep it family friendly, because we do have a lot of kids and things that watch and listen, so just keep that in mind. So Jason, yes, you have completely what is the word here? You've gotten me all fired up over trying Phantasy Star 2, and I'm going to get this set up with my son. We've been playing a game called Sea of Thieves. And this is an MMO where you go around as a pirate, and you do pirate things. You find treasure, you steal from other pirates. Except we're not good enough where we're stealing from anyone. Everybody's stealing from us right now. So, we'll get there. But we'll have.
And the great thing about it is it's PVE, so it's not. I don't know. The community there is cool so far. It's very friendly and helpful, and even the Reddit. The subreddit for the game is surprisingly positive and helpful, so it's a really good start.
Nice.
And yeah, I would love to have more people to play with. It's an interesting game in the fact that you can play the majority of it solo if you really want to, because you can bring in allies to your party who are like AI or sort of like mirrors of your existing friends, like AI copies of your friends.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And you can team up with them. But yeah, it's always great to play with real people. So
and I got to ask you, with the controller and the Dreamcast, take yourself back to the Dreamcast days, because I never got the Dreamcast. I don't remember. Maybe it was the PS2 was in competition with the Dreamcast. I think I had that at the time.
PS2 is what buried it. Much.
But they had a little in the controller of the Dreamcast, which made it really unique. There was a LCD screen, I recall.
Oh, the VMU.
Yeah,
the VMU.
Yeah. Now, did that play in the Phantasy Star, so you could have like your stats or something on that? Do you recall?
Oh, I don't actually remember.
Because I thought that was one of the coolest features.
Dreamcast is amazing. Best console ever.
Yep.
I think that you could do things with your mag, and your mag is like your little kind of robotic pet that supports you, and you can like grow your mag and evolve it and things like that. So I think it tied in there with the VMU.
So for those who don't game, the difference between this type of game and a regular type of game you may be thinking of, like Doom, and an MMO, is an MMO has no ending officially. It's kind of a forever, you grind, get better gear. It's kind of professional Barbie dress up in a way. It's all about the gear that you have, constantly trying to get the better armor, better weapons, all of this stuff, and higher levels and more power unlocked. And you're constantly playing with other people from around the world. So in a way, it was really unique. It's kind of like how Destination Linux Network is, that you had people from everywhere. You were playing from people from Japan and New Zealand and doctors and lawyers and all these different professions were all playing these games, and chance for all the adults to be kids, basically.
Oh yeah, I've been quite a kid with this game.
And they're quite addictive. It gets so bad. Like when EverQuest came out, this was probably one of the most addictive games. They had support groups and things to get people to stop playing. It was so addictive that they would come out with, because they would basically ruin their whole lives over just this fantasy game. So take that into a VR realm one day, and it may be some of these realities we see in sci-fi, right? Where people just lay on a bench and never get out.
I'm just going to say, like, just be careful with this game. Just be careful.
What's the name of it?
Phantasy Star Online 2.
I don't have an Xbox, so I won't be able to play that anytime soon.
Sounds like Ready Player One, the book.
Yeah, exactly. A cool thing about consoles, if you have been looking for one, they're usually really expensive, but you can get Xbox Ones really cheap now because the new consoles are coming out. So You could pick them up for nothing, and if you have any repairability skills, I picked up 2 of them all broken for under $150 and just fixed them. A lot of it was just redoing thermal paste and cleaning out fans and things like that. Or there's a little piece, the CD-ROMs break on them really easily. When you open the box, there's a little piece that comes disengaged from the CD feeder. And if you just take that plastic piece and put it back in place, boom, your CD reader works again. So really easy to fix if you want to pick one up on the cheap. If you have those skills.
Stuff, proprietary consoles. I don't like all that kind of stuff.
Hey, you don't beat up on console gamers just because we thrive for 60 frames per second. You know, don't beat up on us.
I'm not saying. I'm not talking
right,
about any of that. I just say I don't like running any proprietary anything. So consoles are kind of like the worst proprietary kind of computer that you can get because they're not even general purpose computers.
Well, you're not wrong. And I totally respect that opinion. For me, I think it's really weird. Like, I would rather play this game on an underpowered console than have to play it on Windows.
Well, because the experience is like
That
on a
is a
console,
fair
the
point.
operating system like is tuned down to do as few things as possible. While when you're committing to an operating system for your PC, it's your whole computing experience for everything: browsing, working, doing videos, watching stuff. It's more pervasive, if you want, your computer operating system, while console is relegated to just gaming. So I understand your point of view. It feels less dirty in a way.
I would argue, though, that consoles have come a long way from just gaming. I know a lot of people who buy them just to play their Blu-ray libraries, to stream
Media center
content,
stuff,
to work as their DVR. They are definitely, they've ramped that up. In fact, I would say Xbox One and PS4 were the first time console games really took over the media department even more heavily than they focused on the gaming aspect, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean,
Xbox One came out of the gate. In I think, well, they did it wrong. Remember, it was you're gonna control your TV, everything TV.
Yeah,
your Xbox is your TV. It's like, no, I want games.
And they paid for it in their market share. Although I see Xbox has come back during this latter half pretty good. They have made a comeback, and their license. You know, Microsoft makes good moves, like them or not. They're licensed for their all-in gaming pass, where you can play any game. It's not cloud streaming, but basically you pay one monthly fee and you can play this massive library of games. Has been a great value for me and my kids because they could just switch games.
Do you have Ultimate or just Game Pass?
Yeah, no, the Xbox Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah. And you can
Game
stream
Pass.
those to your computer if you had, so they're doing a lot of integration work, which is,
And generally, I trust the Xbox to control my TV rather than like the Google operating system Android that's inside it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I would agree with you there. I trust Microsoft more than I trust Google.
What? I think
that's not like a good. It's not like saying, hey, Microsoft's trustable. It's just like Google's that bad.
Exactly.
I mean, you could.
It's pretty bad to say, considering what our perspective on Microsoft used to be.
Exactly.
You could just build a Raspberry Pi and use that as a media
Raspberry Pi makes a great media player. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Raspberry Pi plus Kodi or LibreElec anyway.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And the other problem I got with these proprietary pieces of hardware, and these includes smart TVs. I hate smart TVs with all my heart. Is that when they get out of support, you can basically throw the thing away. I mean, just think of something like Netflix. If you want to watch Netflix on your browser, you will always be able to do that on even a piece of, on an old PC. But when the Xbox One gets out of support and they stop developing the Netflix app for it, you can't do anything about it. You just have a very expensive paperweight that you cannot do anything with it.
Yeah, it's true.
That's actually what our TV. The RTV is feeling like an expensive paperweight right now because.
Wait. I think this is kind of like you're making an exaggeration. You can't do anything with it.
You could shoot
it part of your set.
Oh yeah, you could make it part of your set. Yeah. That too.
Ooh, I could mount it right back here and put all the patrons' names on there.
Like that DasGeek guy does.
Right. I'm very
too bad we can't see it.
Well, if you're on my stream, you could see it, Rocco. Jeez. Well, somebody's sharing their screen with Doom Eternal.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Let's see you play.
What's going on,
Mark?
Crossing my fingers right now. Come on.
Come on, Mark. Make it run, Mark. Show us.
Just don't
What's
spoil
happening?
anything in the game. Just let it run.
It worked. It showed me the main menu, but now it's black.
Oh man.
Maybe it's the zoom capture.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Just
blame
point
it on
your webcam
Zoom.
to the screen.
Let's try kill it and start again. You can't hear the sound, right? Just to make sure I'm not like.
No.
I heard something
Okay,
for a
cool, 'cause
moment.
it's loud as.
I think we
hell.
did it. I think we
can
did
send
hear
you
the sound
a
a little
magical
bit.
command to kill everything
We
wine
did hear
related.
something.
For those who may not know what's
We
going
are-
on, Mark is
this is
hacking
exciting.
Doom Eternal and making it so I can run it and be happy. Well, he's not probably doing it for me, but I want to pretend he is.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Did I just hear this turn into a stream until he's done making it work for all of us?
Exactly.
Right, it's just live debugging. I thought it would work.
All right, there's the wine system tray, and then the wine system tray just crashes, right? That's what's been happening to me. But
No,
it's
no,
not
I
happening
got
to
the
you.
menu. I got it on the.
Whoa, that's
so it
that's
did work
further than
for a
I've
second.
gotten.
Yeah, exactly. But whether it loads is
Come on,
debatable.
baby. Come on, baby. Feed the hamsters.
I have the sound. I have the sound, which I can play blind, right?
Oh,
Like,
that's
there we go.
Oh, I see loading.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh God, do I need to make an account?
Oh, come on, Bethesda.
Are you
Your
serious?
stupid account things.
Do I have a Bethesda account? Let's find out.
Oh
You'll
man, I
convert
just
it
got
to
geek
screen
chills.
You might want
Just-
to
just-
not stream that part.
Yeah.
Let's make
Yes, give us your account.
Yeah,
Let's
that way I
go.
don't have to create one. All of us are Mark.
Let's get that working first.
There's 50 Marks playing Doom.
Oh God.
How does
Just
the,
give them a dummy email. That's all you have to do. Give them a throwaway email address. That's all they deserve anyway.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do have an account actually. Okay, cool.
So Mark,
Yeah,
how
no,
much
it doesn't
hacking
like
did you
I'm
have to
having.
do that to get it to?
Zero hacking.
You just hit play?
No. I downloaded a custom Proton build.
Oh, was it glorious?
Can you
Glorious
post it in
Eagle?
the chat?
No, this is a TKG one with a
Oh,
custom patch
TKG.
applied, but like, I mean, it's fine. I checked the source and it seems legit, but you know.
Yeah.
Can you post it in the chat? Like the
Seeing
link
it
to
run
this-
in Linux is good
It
enough for
seems
me.
legit.
It seems
It's gonna-
legit, and then
yeah, it's gonna
the
get
next
there.
thing you know, your PC is actually doomed.
I'm
Doom.
gonna put this in.
Oh
Nice.
wow,
Did
love it,
No pun
love
intended.
it.
Yeah,
That
Jason.
jokes are the best.
Paul is saying in my YouTube chat, this stream has distracted me from PSO2. Me too, Paul. Me too.
Yep, indeed.
I had this. Okay, so picture this. You got this is the last thing I'll say. I promise. I love this game so much. And I have to tell you guys because I told my wife and she's like, "Yeah, that's really great, honey." Oh no, I don't want this full screen. Okay, there we go. So there is this thing called PSE burst, and basically what happens is the more people you have playing, you can have up to 12 people in a quest, right? In certain what's called urgent quests, and you can have up to 12 people, and the more killing you do of all the monsters and stuff, you build up this PSE burst. And once that happens, all of the rarity and the frequency of the loot drops explode, and like monsters just keep coming. And we had this 15-minute run where we're all just like hovering in the air, firing rockets, magic, special spells and everything. And the floor across this entire level is just littered with money and rare items. And it was the best. It was the
Give
best
me the
moment I've ever had in that
gold.
game.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That reminds me of like Diablo, the loot fest of Diablo, when you just go through a whole bunch of mobs and there's just gold and weapons and everything spread out all over the map. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Is
So
it
much fun.
Is it weird that I had the crazy urge to go? That's good, dear.
Good for you, dear.
It's not weird, but it's rude.
Yeah, it's rude.
Rude.
That's it, Michael. Go sit in timeout on your stool.
No. I'm just
Go
I'm
join
kidding,
the
I'm
timeout
kidding.
penguin.
Yeah, you're
I'm
in
kidding.
timeout, Michael.
It's not. No, it was actually fun. If it was a fun story, I just wanted to be like just to do it because of just I don't know.
You're
the
just like
weirdness.
my kids. You argue when I tell you to go to timeout. Go to timeout.
No. I can't. No.
I can't. No.
I don't wanna.
I hope your kids don't say that, Ryan. I can't know.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna do here? I have this this widescreen, and I can split my screen into 2 different HDMI inputs. So I'm just gonna fire up.
Keep talking geek to me here, Jason.
I'm just gonna fire up
wait.
the Xbox real quick, and no.
This is the same monitor.
Wait, hold on.
Talk nerdy to us.
All right. So this monitor, it has it's a 49-inch ultra wide, and what you're able to do is actually split it into 2 independent 1080p displays. So
and it's like full actual displays with 2 different connections.
Full 1080p with 2 different PCs, or something like my PC and the Xbox plugged in. So right now,
that is awesome.
So right now I have my PC on the left side, and I have the Xbox in full 1080p on the right side. And
all of a sudden we won't hear from
coming gaming.
We won't hear from Jason anymore.
And horribly distracting having that ability.
Is that in a curved or flat display?
Curved, of course.
Yeah.
Curved.
I was thinking, I want a flat display. Is it weird that I want something flat? I don't want the curve.
Have you tried curved?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Nathan.
Amazing.
Curve
I'm not
changes it.
digging the curved.
Michael got to sit in front of my curved monitor, and it changed, I
Yeah.
think, his perspective on how cool it can be. It's very
I've seen it.
encapsulating.
He's been cross-eyed ever since.
He's been cross-eyed ever since.
Just note to self.
Well, that explains a lot.
If anybody wants to add me on Xbox Live, I'm going to put it in the Zoom chat here.
All right. I got to capture this because it's going to be a thing, I feel like.
Monitor stuff, flat or curved. I think curved is distracting, or even I mean, if you're doing something like graphic design or anything where you need to be precise and you need to see straight lines, I think that curved actually hurts the experience.
I mean, everybody looks at it differently. I thought the same thing until I got one, and then I was like, okay, because this is bezel-less as well. I mean, it's near bezel-less, and
yeah, I've seen them in
it's
stores
just
and
so
stuff.
like, and it's a very small curve. This is only 1800R, so it's a very slight curve, but it's just enough to give you that depth in your screen that, I don't know, it just feels like you can reach in. And
I've never done gaming on the curved stuff, but just using the curve when we were doing the OBS and like doing the stream, like that was like, it is very nice, and it's super creepy because like the first 15 minutes it was so awkward and weird, and then I got used to it and looked at it flat when I was like, what, this is worse. How did that happen so fast?
You know, you bring up a good point, Gabe, because Michael's point is good for Gabe because it does about 15 minutes when you first get to a curved monitor, you feel off, and then now I look at a curve and I don't notice it. But like, it's hard for me to even see the curve of the monitor. It's just kind of been apart. But for the first 15 minutes, I didn't like it when I turned it on.
I mean, your brain eventually adjusts to the change.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Let me get Jason added on.
Most
Xbox.
most of my gaming has been on 800 by 600 resolution. Like, if I really were to take it all in totality. So I don't know what I'm gaining.
Oh, you mean your entire like gaming career?
Entire life? Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant right now. Otherwise, I was going to have to.
No, that's Zeb. Zeb loves pixelated 800 by 600 games. That's
Loves
his favorite.
them.
Like the late 90s, I think was like the pinnacle of my gaming time, and it's just not really rebound since then.
Actually, Zeb agrees with you, and Zeb agrees with you and says that it's the pinnacle of gaming right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
Zeb,
definitely
speaking of which, we
spoiled.
found the most ridiculous game on Destination Linux, and I missed you so much when we were covering it. Oh my gosh. What is it here? Let me pull it up. You build your own monster and smash
Test Tube Titans.
Test Tube Titans, Zeb.
That just sounds
on,
wrong.
dude. This is the
build
game
your
of the
own monster
year.
and
Put a link in chat. And I'll
Well, the way you
Tokyo.
can. The way you control the monster is each limb, so you have to independently move the limbs and try to make it like coordinated and attack buildings and all kinds of stuff.
You build the stupidest monster you can, and then you struggle to control it, and it just smashes into buildings, and then you can eat police and, do general
also do
destruction of
co-op
Godzilla
stuff.
monsters and stuff.
But are these?
It's like a
real-
modern Rampage.
There you
Are
go.
these real monsters or are they Lego blocks?
No, they're it's good graphics. I mean,
Yeah, it's
not
it's
great
very
graphics.
stylized graphics. Yeah.
But
it's stylized, but it's also good in its style.
There you go. I put
It's
the link
not
in
just
my
it's not
chat.
just 3 pixels like we normally mess with you.
You may have missed it before, but next.
Oh, come on, Zeb. Already? You didn't give it a real shot, I don't feel like.
Yeah, you got to watch
I've
the
watched
video to get
3.5. Well, no, I've watched 20 seconds of the video. Next.
Hey, I mean, at least he can rule out things that quickly, right? Good for him, I say.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't do anything that isn't proper graphics, plain and simple.
No,
So-
I think that what he said by next was that that's his next game he's gonna buy.
Yeah, next
Yeah,
is what
right.
you'll find it on Zeb's stream. So everyone subscribe to Zebedee Boss so you can watch him play Test Tube Titans tomorrow, I
right.
think, all day, 24-hour
Mark
stream.
Mark is going to try and launch
24-hour
Doom
stream
again.
of Test Tube Titans.
I had to spend like 10 minutes
Don't think
recovering
so.
my Bethesda account.
Hey, was it DL that I learned about Mindustry or Mindustry from? Was that one of the games here, or is that somewhere else?
I think it's
It could have
from,
been DL,
Linux
but
for
Mindustry,
I think
Mindustry
it's
was
Linux for
actually. Well,
So
sorry,
it
I
was
was
a
talking
Linux
over
for everyone
everyone.
episode.
Yep,
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a DL game.
Linux,
I remember.
Linux for everyone via gaming on Linux. Liam,
All
No,
right.
you-
Let's see if this is going to work. Here's your proper
No,
graphics.
this fails, but then it lets you get past it. So the frame rate is horrific because it's sharing, but it was
but
fine
there's the
when I was in.
menu. Oh my! Oh,
I
young to
love
die.
it. I'm too young to die. I
come on.
love it.
Yeah.
There's 2 levels above Nightmare?
Yeah, I don't know what the 2 levels above. Jeez, I didn't even look.
100%. Here we go.
And does God
It's
mode
gonna
still
be-
work?
press space already.
ADSSD or something. ADSSD.
It's gonna be such bad frame rate.
I want this.
It doesn't
game
Oh my
matter.
god, this is loud.
Yeah, it's not going through.
Can't hear it.
It looks like 1 frame per second.
Wow.
It's probably the screen. I'm pretty sure that's the screen sharing.
This is too pixelated. I'm not buying this.
What are you
Not
getting?
proper
on it, Mark?
graphics, huh?
I can't even skip this. Oh, here we go. Let me skip.
Who's the heavy breather?
Is that you, Mark?
I don't think so. Hey, look, it
obviously
looks fantastically fast.
I don't see any RTX shadow in there.
You should be used to these graphics, Ryan.
You must be running an NVIDIA.
Yeah, I am. This is a 27.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
Adam.
it can't stream it at all. Jeez, it's like 5 FPS while I'm streaming it. But there you go. It does
Without
work.
streaming it,
Okay,
does it run?
but it's running. It's running, and that's the
It's
that's
running.
the custom.
It's getting us
CKG
closer.
version
How does it
from
run
Patron.
on your computer off the stream? Does it
Yeah.
run
Yeah,
all
let me
right?
just try that out fully. It seemed alright when I was testing it earlier. but
Because
it might
let's see how many frames per second you get when you're not, doing it here.
Also, the
I was
ultra-
seeing that YouTube video. Woof! Wow.
Whoever's got a mic in front of their face, like a headphone mic,
Or is eating it, one or the
you
other.
either mute or pull it away so it's not going in front of your mouth.
That foam
I
is
was seeing like
delicious.
15 frames per second on
Good
YouTube.
fiber.
I don't hear anybody breathing into a mic, so maybe they muted already.
Maybe it's Jason. He's breathing heavy because he's got Phantasy Star Online over there on the right side of his screen.
No, you guys, my attention. I swear to God, my attention is 100% on this right now. So,
But every time you look over, we hear the heavy breathing. Phantasy Star.
I gotta feed my mag. My mag is hungry. You gotta feed that thing constantly.
Your pet, your virtual
yeah,
pet.
my pet. Yeah. It's great though. You can feed it like weapons, and like how you get you'll get a bunch of loot that maybe you don't need or you don't feel like walking over to the store and selling it. Just feed it to your mag. It'll level them up.
So you can feed your pet like steel and stuff,
like grenade launchers and furniture for your room and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Will that work for my dog?
I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe if it's a softer thing,
It is a pit bull.
I have a Labrador / Golden Retriever, and I'm pretty sure it would eat anything you put in front of its mouth.
Wait, so can I actually play a clip if I've never done the screen sharing on Zoom? How do I do that if I just want to play
If you do the share
that.
button at the bottom,
Yeah, bottom middle.
in the bottom middle, you'll see
It'll just share
participants
my whole
and then
screen,
share.
but my screen is
Yes.
32 by 9.
It'll
though.
let you select what you want to share.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Good thing Rocco's here. He's actually
I'm gonna
professional.
just split it. Rocco's super professional.
Unlike the rest of us.
All right, so I think the stream still looks.
It's not that he's professional; he just cares.
What is that supposed to mean, Nate?
Okay, so if I do share and
Where's your loyalty?
I mean,
we care
I
ish.
launched the app first. I launched the app first.
Good for that.
Until I saw him laughing, I was going to say he had the stream muted.
No, that was a good cough button. moment.
Oh, man, sorry about that. Okay. This is
Now
probably
look, you
gonna
gave him a
look
coughing
terrible.
fit.
All right, let me.
Looks like a lot of Pop OS behind you there, Rocco. Is that a Pop OS laptop right there?
It is.
Are
Pop
you
OS.
are you still a Pop OS fan?
Yeah, that's
Are
what
you,
I'm running.
have you been distro hopping?
I have. I got a test machine that I distro hop on.
But your main machine's been Pop OS for how long?
Since last April.
Dang,
So it's
man,
coming up
you've
on a
made
year.
some life changes.
Coming up on a year.
Where's
Holy-
Rocco?
That's
What did you
impressive.
do with him?
Yeah.
Rocco
All right,
found
guys.
Pop OS and never looked back.
I'm going to share this real quick.
Nice.
I don't know if it'll work.
Have you
but,
tried the
I wanna
tiling thing?
show- I want to show Ryan
No,
this
not
this
yet.
whole this crazy
Are you gonna?
PSE burst thing I was
I
talking
want
about.
to. Yes.
All right,
Share
show us.
computer sound. All right, here we go.
I would mute
Okay,
it, maybe.
so yeah,
Yeah,
There you
there we
go.
go. I'll mute it.
That's better.
Okay. So look at the
it's
look at the
slightly
ground.
better
It's just
frame rate.
Oh look, another
Slightly better,
pixelated
yeah.
game.
Oh, look at the chaos. I love
Is
it.
this like floor is lava or something?
Floor
It
is
is
lava.
actually the floor is actually lava. Yes.
Is this an NVIDIA card?
No, this is an Xbox One.
It's NVIDIA, everybody.
It's an
NVIDIA.
card.
So this went on for like 15 minutes, and it was just madness.
That is chaos. How do you know what to even shoot at? Is it just targeting like a tab key target or something?
Yeah, you can hit your
It's just
left
chaos
bumper and
everywhere.
just
I
cycle
love it.
Cycle through targets.
And I'm sure there's like different characters, like you have healers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, wide range of
Tanks
different
and range
races.
and
yeah,
healers.
different races, and there's people who specialize in melee combat or sword-based combat or jet boots.
Has it got any caravans?
That's
and
your
trucks?
mag doing his first special ability.
Does it have a ball that you could jump with the rocket boosters on a car?
No, but I can actually ride my grenade launcher into battle.
That's awesome.
And then I can ride my grenade launcher and then like swing it around and just slap it into a bunch of enemies and hurt them that way. It's just amazing.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I like also how you have it named Solus.
That's pretty
It just
cool.
sounded, I don't know why, but it just sounded good. It just sounded
Representing
like
Linux, even on the Xbox.
good name, you know? Yeah.
I thought I saw
okay.
Falco back there too. You know, Rock Me Amadeus.
Oh, rock me.
That looks pretty fun, man. Yeah, you're
It's such
definitely
a
piquing my
blast.
interest there.
Good. I'm a bad influence.
You are. You are.
I'm a bad influence.
Or a good.
Yeah, it depends on your perspective. That's all.
Right. It's still spending time with my kids because I'll just play with them, right? So it counts as father kid son time.
Well, yeah, and you've got, so it doesn't do split screen though. So you have two Xboxes, yeah?
Yeah, I have two Xboxes. Yeah.
Okay, then you're
Daddy,
good.
when is it
and the
my
nice
go?
thing is
Yeah,
it's
in a
free, so
minute,
you don't have
son.
to pay
In a
anything.
minute.
That's
Yeah,
spending
no, I said
quality
in a
time.
minute.
Go away, son.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
But
Your
Daddy,
turn.
that was 4 hours ago. Yeah, I know. In a minute.
You amateurs,
In a
you just
minute.
have to give him an unplugged controller.
I think he'd probably know the difference.
Yeah. No, I've got
That only works to a certain age. After that, they figure it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I
Once-
got two Xboxes. We have a whole battle station set up right out this room with the table, and it's got two monitors, two Xboxes, and all the controller
I wanna
chargers.
see
and all
that.
Yeah, I think I got a picture of it somewhere. Let me see if I could share it. It's nothing fancy, but it's cool.
Hey, Nasif, when did Nasif get in here? Anyway, glad you're in here, man.
Yes, and by the way,
been-
anybody who wants to join, if you're a patron of any show on Destination Linux Network, you should have information in the Patreon or sponsors or whatever they're using that
Mhm.
We'll show you the info to join us live here. Otherwise, everybody's
This will
welcome
be
to chat.
this will be a monthly thing.
Yep, it's their second time doing this. So
We're
we're
gonna be
actually
doing
sticking to it.
Yeah,
I like
we're being
I actually
consistent.
like the
right?
I like the
Shocker.
approach of
That
having
is a
just
shock.
patrons from any show. I think that's the way to do it.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a fun like combination hangout thing. Yeah, I like it.
And you can still be a patron to all the shows if you want.
Yeah,
That's
I like
true,
how you're
too.
thinking.
That is
Or
a good option.
you can buy this wonderful Linux for Everyone coffee mug that Michael designed.
And I hear your coffee tastes 100%
Coffee
better.
for
in it.
everyone.
Yeah.
Linux for
You
everyone.
mean like that one back there?
Like Haplos. Yeah, buddy.
Nice. I think it does improve the taste of the coffee too.
Yeah,
It
that's the
does.
rumor.
It's proven. It's just like using RGBs in your computer will give you 5% to 10% extra frame rate. It's just a foregone conclusion.
Yep.
That and the Baileys.
Makes Bailey's taste better. All right.
So what's everybody doing this weekend?
Staying home.
Any interesting plans? Yeah.
I got
Those
some
go out
plans
to
here.
I
a
can have some
restaurant
plans
now.
actually.
So we live in
Wait, go
Colorado,
ahead.
so I'm going to take the kids and we're going to head up the canyon a little bit and get away from people and just kind of hang out by the river. It snowed a bunch this week, so should be
Oh,
nice.
that'll be nice.
That sounds good.
Snowed. Where are you at?
In Colorado.
Oh, that explains it.
Yep.
Here in Florida, I'm just chilling at home, doing nothing, staying away from stores, staying away from people. Luckily, like I said, they gave us this let her take our work monitors home and gave us brand new laptops so we can work from home.
That's cool.
Nice.
That
I thought
is
you were going to say, here in Florida, it snowed in 1993.
It depends on what kind of snow you're talking about now. It might snow here all the time with all these drug dealers around.
I have to say something because I know that this whole situation that we're in globally can be a bit of a bummer, but I think there are going to be some positive takeaways from it. For example, I think that a lot of companies are going to realize, hey, you know what? Our employees can be efficient working from home. And, maybe we'll let them stay at home more often once this all blows over and have more time with their families and less time commuting. And so
My company's already talking about that.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
but so is my company. They like I said, they let us take this home, but then they told us to keep it home. They're going to get us all new monitors for our desks at work, so that we can we have our desktops there. They're also figuring out that we're running out of seats, but we need to hire more people because I work for Bank America in the internal IT department.
Mhm.
So I deal with all the bank servers, anything that deals with banks. They call us in and we have to fix their computer issues. So we're running out of space for people to keep the queue down. So this way they're going to realize that we can put half the people that have been there for a while, they can work from home, and we can bring the new hires into the office, and so we can train them, and then rotate them to home once we fill up the call center again.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's gonna be great. I love working from home.
There's some like that's a good point about how like it might have that kind of reaction. Is also like maybe they could see that the proficiency could be higher in general. And then like, I always thought that the 5-day work week was not necessary because we, in the US, like a long time ago, it used to be like a 6-day work week. And they're like, well, it'll be more productive if we did 5 days. Like, well, it might be more productive if you did 4 that, instead of 5 8-hour days, 4 10-hour days. Like maybe they could, look at it in a different perspective. That's an interesting point. NecoJet in the Patron chat says that more productivity would also come if they replace all their chairs with stools. So I think that's a fair point. I think it's a good point.
Only if they cost $9.
Yeah, it's true. Fair.
Yeah, every company can afford that.
Well, there's a fair bit of us that like can't take our stuff home. I mean, I work on a CNC machine, so I can't exactly stick that in the back of my car and bring it home. So for
not with that attitude.
Why
well,
not?
it's a Prius. If you can fit a machine that's that big into, I don't know if you've ever seen one before. It's a.
I think the motor on that
machine,
CNC probably is bigger than the motor in your Prius.
It's probably got more horsepower.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's a Makino, so it's not like it's a low end machine. It's pretty good, but yeah. But I also work 30 miles
Very
from
nice.
home, so
You know, that's a good
That's the
point. There's a
trade-off.
lot of people I'm hearing have lost their jobs. They're being laid off and all of that. So, you know, as a community, I know we have on, and this is I understand a small thing, but just for those who are looking, Destination Linux Network forums on the discourse, we have a job section where people can post jobs you find, and also you can put your information up there if you're looking for work, because we have thousands, tens of thousands of people around the network, around the world. So, you know, I know some people have networked their way into getting different positions. If you're in that situation, it's something to check out, at least add to your job search opportunities there.
Seems like a lot of people that work like in the service industry, like restaurants and stuff like that, are the ones that are getting hit really, really hard. I've been seeing a lot of my friends being laid off. They got guaranteed jobs when this all blows over, and restaurants can open up their dining rooms again. But right now, I've had a lot of friends that have been laid off temporarily, most of them without pay.
Yeah.
Because you know they're waitresses and waiters and things like that, so they rely on tips for the most part. So even if they did get a paycheck, it still wouldn't be, you know, a huge thing.
Right.
They've been told that they can get unemployment through this whole they can go apply for unemployment.
You know the problem with that, though, Jason?
Wait. That they cannot?
They can get unemployment.
Oh, okay.
They can, but the problem is, so I was a waiter for a while, and on paper you make nothing. So all of your tips are based off of or all of your reimbursement, you know, all of your benefits, so unemployment, everything. I mean, on paper I made like $10,000 a year, but in reality I was making much more than that. But it's all because it's tips.
I have seen some creative solutions. For instance, you know, my son is in karate, and his teacher set up Zoom and is doing virtual classes now. So it's the same time, and so
that's cool.
That's keeping a lot of people from canceling in his job profession is by utilizing Zoom. I know a lot of restaurants are doing drive-through only or doing delivery to people's homes and things. So
our state actually just added alcohol to the list. So now restaurants can deliver food and alcohol. So that hopefully will pick up a little bit for them a little bit.
Yeah, alcohol is always a good one.
Yeah, as did New Hampshire. Not only can we collect benefits, unemployment, if we're even quarantined, like we don't even have to be diagnosed. If we have to stay home and take care of somebody else or put in place, we get unemployment. And the other thing is everybody has to be takeout only. You can't, or delivery. You cannot sit down.
I mean, we've got it like reverse in the UK. My wife's a school teacher. And they are saying that if you are what's called a key worker, i.e. a nurse, a doctor, a truck driver, and anything that's got to do stuff, then your children still have to go to school, and the school has to accommodate them. Well, we're just coming up to the 6 weeks holiday. And the government has said, tough, no school holiday this year. If your child is a key worker, the schools will stay open and we'll look after your child for you. So through the whole 6 weeks, my wife has now got to work 1 week on, 1 week off. But it's meant to be the 6 weeks holiday, which they shouldn't be at school anyway. But they're saying, no, you've got to keep the schools open, and teachers, you've got to go to work.
Well, that's crazy.
Wow,
that's insane.
My wife's a teacher as well, and it's the same thing. But I mean, it's the exact opposite, where our spring break now extended out to 5 weeks. She's told to stay at home, and they try to do things remote, you know, like online learning. But
that's what our kids did. Yeah, they go to a STEM academy, and everything's online now. They go to school online and do all their work online, and they have teacher do videos from their home and send it to the kids that they can watch online. And so I think the interesting thing that you said, Jason, is I think the whole world will change from this, right?
Yes.
I think everything will be different when this is over in a way.
I think it'll be mostly positive.
Some of it will be.
I really do. Yeah.
So if I can tell you just my honest opinion as a student at this point in life, I don't think that it's particularly, I mean, there are advantages in remote working, but at least for me, I've been kind of hurt by the need of studying from home and having remote lessons, because I just think that there's it's not the same thing, and I'm the kind of person that stays online most of his free time. So still, for a lesson, it's difficult because you cannot interact with the professor well, you can, but it's limited and it doesn't feel the same, if you know what I'm saying. And the same thing with like the classmates. What I used to do like last semester was like interacting with all my classmates to the old story of not being the smartest person in the room. So you can just confront what you've learned and let the other guys like tell you something that you didn't understand and all the kind of stuff. Now with remote lessons, all of this is just gone. I'm on my own studying and doing all the like uni work and stuff.
That actually makes
Yeah,
sense.
I can understand that with I used to work for Apple, and I worked for a third-party vendor of Apple's, so everything was remote. So we had to do a 6-week training period that was online only, and we used like this program called Blackboard Collaboration or Collaborator or something like that. It's a Blackboard. I don't know what you guys are using, Gabriel, for the interactivity part of it.
Different things. Some are using YouTube and a separate Telegram group. Some others are using Zoom. Some others Teams. And by the way, I cannot set up Teams for the love of me. I cannot set up an education account.
Yeah, with Blackboard Collaboration, it was a pretty robust program that allowed us to do a lot of stuff interactively. As far as with each other, we didn't have to just hang out with the instructor and get the lessons for the day. We would we had rooms that we would set up and we go in as for study together and quiz each other and things like that. I mean, it's going to be definitely a change for you to get used to that, but reach out to your classmates and see about maybe even using the Zoom meeting or something like that and getting together and just doing a little study group.
I think you make a good point, Jason. So I've had managed remote teams now for the past, I want to say 6+ years. So I've been full-time. I have people spread out all over the United States to report to me, and I've had to adjust because I was used to being in centers where I had all my team there, and it was much easier to manage kind of mood and get people engaged. So it's been a challenge, but we have really stretched the limits of technology for video conferencing, and we have a live interactive chat where people can talk about whatever they want on my team all day long. It's kind of the water cooler talk. And then we do virtual lunches, for instance, on Fridays once a month where, I'll order them all lunch and have it delivered to their homes, and we just sit around and eat food and talk and hang out. So we find different ways of still creating some of that collaboration. It's not as easy. There are definitely advantages to being in person, and when we do travel, we, hone in on those opportunities to talk to everybody and do the live stuff. But it can be done more efficiently, I think.
But your team love it remote, Ryan, though, because they can hit the mute button and you don't see it.
Exactly. They could basically turn off their video and flick off the screen, and I have no idea that that's what's happening. So, yeah, I'm sure they love it for many reasons.
Yesterday we did a virtual happy hour, which is basically what we're doing right here. We all got on Zoom, we had a drink, we talked about, some people hadn't worked from home at all. So they were sitting there going, okay, what are the challenges that you're running into and all that. And it actually was great, sitting back, everyone was kind of drinking, just having a good time chatting like this. And it was really helpful to kind of keep us together after kind of the first week of up to 8 weeks of being home that we're going to be.
Yeah, having a dedicated workspace is really important. The other cool thing you can do is work from other areas. I'll go to a Starbucks or anywhere with Wi-Fi. Of course, now a little bit more difficult. No. But when that stuff comes back around, you can change your environment up, which tends to change your thought process as well. So you don't have to be stuck in the same room all the time. But if you have kids, having a dedicated work area saying, hey, when that door's closed, that means Dad's working, stay out. Not that they listen, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, right. Not that they listen. I wish I could go to like Starbucks and all that stuff for my job. I could work off a laptop.
You do,
but
every day.
Well, I go to my house. Yeah, I'm saying like I can't go to a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that with free Wi-Fi because I work with the bank, so I work in bank systems, and that's kind of
Well, you got a VPN. You hook up a VPN, or what we use is because I work in telecom, we have our own hotspots. So we buy a hotspot and go through that and VPN in through our own network.
It's not the VPN that's the issue. It's the people around you hearing the stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I got you.
Because I work in the bank industry, so you can't have people hearing that stuff.
Well, I really want you to go there so I can get the bank password and put money in my account, Jason.
Don't forget to have your nighttime pajamas and your daytime work pajamas.
Exactly. That's right. Really
You gotta have like a
distinguish-
formal suit pajamas.
Formal suit pajamas.
I got that
one-piece-
backwards even when I
is
was
it
just
a
working in
one-
the office.
Like a one-piece pajama that just
Yeah,
looks like
it's a
suit,
onesie
right?
suit.
A onesie suit. Oh my god.
I don't know if those exist, but if they do, I have to get one now.
I bet you.
Oh,
they
I'm
do.
sure I'm sure you can
I
find it on
probably-
Amazon or something if you looked.
Well, if you're old enough, you
Probably.
remember, I think it was American Graffiti where the really tall, skinny guy turns up in a onesie tuxedo.
Nice. Tuxedo. We'll find out like a full suit, like an Armani pajama. That'd be awesome.
Armani part pajama suit.
That's what I'm going
One with
for.
one arm and one knee.
Anything that I can avoid wearing a tie. is fine.
Armani, one arm and one knee. Because let's face it, Michael, $3.95 suit. You're not even going to get the Armani price tag, son.
No. I want it to look like as if it was a fake Armani. It's okay. Fomani. Better.
Fomani while sitting on a stool. I mean, how could life get better than that?
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I just want to say that stool has not moved. He does not sit
It moves every single day.
You're not
In order
wrong,
for me
Zeb.
to
He
get
never
out- no,
uses
from-
it. He's never.
In order for me to get out of
It's a
the room,
prop.
and I have to move.
It's a
it over
prop. Thank you, Rocco.
Yes. So I can open the door.
That is one
Fred
heck
in
of
the
a
chat.
3D cardboard cutout.
Fred in the chat says those do exist. They're called adult rompers. ROMPER. So
Well, now I know what I'm
before you
ordering.
can search adult romper.
Now I know what I'm not looking
Well,
at.
Don't search for that when you're on the work VPN.
Don't worry, Rocco. I'll send you links.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see you on the next biddle in one Rocco.
Will those
yeah?
be affiliate links there,
Send
Michael?
him links. I'm sending
Absolutely.
him a romper. I'm going to pay for it, Rocco. I will be very insulted if you don't wear it.
Ryan, it's got to be a gnome suit as well.
Yes. If I make it Pop OS branded, I bet he wears it.
Or we could have like a
No.
penguin suit. It has a little penguin head that you put on.
Yeah.
Coming
Hey,
soon to
Rocco,
the.
have you played with Pop Shell at all?
I have not.
You should
I want
because
to.
it's
Either.
awesome.
Man, I really want to try that.
I'm afraid to. Honestly, I'm afraid to try things on the main machine.
Oh,
'Cause
come on.
I got
it's
it.
just
I
a
got it
normal
working
extension.
so right and so well. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know,
can just
that's-
install
I don't
Pop
get-
OS again on the other machine and then try it there.
I could. I actually got it on the laptop. I could play with it there, but I'm not much. I don't do much on the laptop itself. So, but I really don't install a lot of extensions. I just, like it's working. I leave it there.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's from the Pop OS guy. It's not the stablest thing. I've tried it.
Well, it's in beta.
extensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a beta because.
Well,
I
it
think
literally
it-
says it's in beta. You have to download it. From
Okay,
GitHub.
okay. If they say it, I think that there are still some missing features. That's the point. Anyway, I tried it. It's great, but it gets in the way because it's still pretty buggy, and that's the problem with most of those tiling solutions.
Well, I mean, it's
as
not meant
GNOME
to be.
extensions.
It's not production ready for sure. But
They said that they're not going to release it for like production at least for another month or so.
I can't wait till it is production ready because then I may put it on.
Well, I'll tell you,
Then
even
I will
not being
try.
production ready,
That's
and
fair.
yes, it is buggy and it's not anywhere near i3 level, which I don't expect it to get there, but I want it to be similar enough. I can still say that I dig it entirely. Like the concept of the one click move your windows, where you have them set before, or switch to the horizontal versus vertical window frames. Like there's some ideas that they have going on there that are really awesome, and I would compare it to what Ubuntu Budgie has done with their tiling manager, because they also made one. I cannot think of its name right now, but it's out there for Budgie. It's a widget, and it's very similar to that, whereas you're not going to get that full i3 like power capability, but it's still enough that you kind of start to see the real value of window managers
Well,
and
that's
I
tiling.
really like the idea though.
I mean, they're trying to implement tiling in GNOME without touching the otherwise good and working GNOME experience. That's the
Yeah,
point.
I think that's a good way of putting it.
Also, if you're looking for a new GNOME tiling extension, I can suggest you try out Tilda WM. It's another new extension that basically tries to do the same thing as Pop Shell, but it has some nice features like the spiral splitting by default. So whenever you create a new window, it just like first time of course it's full screen, then splits vertically, then it splits horizontally on the right, then again vertically. It's interesting, and it's even more buggy than Pop Shell. But
I was suggesting you want to try it out. It's even more buggy, but
well,
But
I mean,
but it
it's
sounds
an
like the
extension.
promise. The
Yeah,
promise
and
is there for both of
at
these.
the end of the day, it's
Yeah,
not
for
like
sure.
you're breaking anything. You can just install it, and even if you cannot log it back in, you can just remove the whole directory from the command line.
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of using an extension system like that. And I think that there's I like the idea of the tiling inside of an existing DE, like trying to make it work in that sense, because you get the benefits of having the full DE, but also get the tiling features. I like the idea, like the approach, because it's like, I think tiling window managers are really cool, but also like little too far into the hardcore.
You have to be a little
realm.
obsessed with them to really.
Yeah, see,
get the
I just want
enjoyment
that
of it.
functionality without having to take a deep dive down the rabbit hole, and
right.
Thank you,
memorize
Rocco. By the
all
way,
this
the
anyway.
name
But
of
it's more
Ubuntu
about-
Budgie's window manager, for those looking for, is called Shuffler. So if you're on Ubuntu Budgie, check out Shuffler.
Yeah, I've actually been playing with Shuffler. Dustin showed me the dev build of it, and I was playing with it a bit. I'm a DWM guy usually, but I'll switch back and forth between tiling and a DE with tiling if I can.
Yeah, Shuffler's pretty cool, right? Do you dig it?
I do like especially the dev release that they have right now. They've really added a lot of the key bindings that I like, because I'm all about moving my windows
Yes.
around with my keyboard.
Me
right?
too.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Fred is not going to make this easy. He says Etsy, the Target store, Amazon, and AliExpress all have adult rompers for your colorful workday clothes.
We need DLN branded rompers apparently.
Oh,
I think
I'd wear that. I'd wear that for I'd wear that for every YouTube video.
I don't know I'd ever not wear them,
Right? That just seems like a normal thing you'd go out every day.
That with some sandals and you're set.
Well, as long as your sandals have socks, naturally.
Well, you have rompers.
need
It's like a
more.
onesie, right? So you have it covers your
Well,
feet.
be
and
careful
everything.
on searching
Not all
for
of them,
rompers.
I guess, but maybe.
I did, and make sure your safe search is on. Just
no.
Okay.
Oh,
Say
no.
no more.
Good
Say no
advice. Good advice.
So good tip: don't screen share those searches. Okay.
I'm still trying to work up the courage to wear my Optimus Prime robe outside.
You don't need courage for that. We are geeks. We own that. Optimus Prime robe is pimp. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It is, but
Jason, where's your matrix of leadership? Come on.
Yeah. You're gonna get your geek card revoked if you don't go out in your Optimus Prime pajamas.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll do it.
Kick resort didn't happen.
Exactly. We want to see you out in town.
Oh, believe me, my wife will take the pictures. No worries there. No worries there.
So in the Patron chat, we just got a link to Suitsy. Apparently, it is a suit onesie, and it is like it says it's a hands-on review of the Suitsy, the Silicon Valley onesie suit.
I can't recommend this for all
Wow.
interviews, but I will tell you, if somebody came in for an interview and had that on, I would definitely give them bonus points. In my case,
Right?
anyways.
And it's the higher.
Yeah.
Insta hire, yes.
I just think that shows a lot of character.
Making a note.
So this is a question from the live chat for Tux Digital. There's somebody for I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, the question is for the love of Linux is the one who shared it, and it's about like having one server to have multiple tasks. And has anybody like tried specifically, or just in general, what do you think about like Pi-hole and Open Media Vault being on the same server? That was the question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I can kind of answer that. I have a home server back in where I'm from at my parents' house, and it's like a bare metal server, but it's an old PC that are repurposed, and it's running various services, like Mumble server, Nextcloud, and Jellyfin. And while
Nice.
that's convenient, because I mean it's just one operating system, one thing you have to manage, and it's as straightforward as it gets. I wouldn't recommend it if you can avoid it, because it's a lazy solution, but it's not very easy to manage, particularly if you like have if you have something like Pi-hole. I'd get a separate a separate machine for that, mostly because what I'm worried about is that since all the network traffic, all the DNS requests have to get through that, if I don't know, have a full house of people that are all using the Wi-Fi and they are all sending requests to the Pi-hole server, then anything else that's running on the server is just gonna take a hit for it, you know.
I like to
Same
run a
thing-
lot of servers on Raspberry Pis for various things. Like I have one that runs a Pi-hole. I have one that runs a FTP server over to the side, so the Pi-hole controls it, and I have a USB drive, external drive connected into it. But my FreeNAS server has a lot of tools intermixed in one, so it's kind of meant for that. And Synology NAS would be the same one if you're looking for something more user-friendly, besides mixing everything like you were talking about, Gab, is you've got things like your backup PCs you could set up on FreeNAS. You could set up Minecraft servers to manage them. You could set up Plex. You can set up transmission. You can set up all kinds of different tools and things. Your video conferencing, Nextcloud, all of that on FreeNAS, as well as having FreeNAS as a backup server. So you just basically click and add in these plugins, and you've got a multifaceted server there as well.
I find that having automation skills helps a lot in determining whether you want to separate things out as well. Like I try to separate whatever I can out into Docker containers if I can, or things like that. So if I need to rebuild it or move it or something, it's very easy to do so. But sometimes that's not the easiest to someone that's just coming to Linux. So it's kind of one of those things we're helping train people and show them ways that they can separate out things. And I agree with the Pi-hole thing. I mean, with the Raspberry Pi, like, who thought that Pi-hole would run good on a Raspberry Pi? It's amazing. It works great. That's the way I throw it out there. And
I would
easy to
really
rebuild it.
recommend
Who would have thought?
to your point that Raspberry Pi would be, if you're just starting out, first of all, learning it is just an endless amount of fun and knowledge. If you love learning, get a Raspberry Pi, because there's endless projects for it. You can do robotics with it. You can do servers with it. You can turn it into a computer. I have my car running a Raspberry Pi, so my car turns on. It's got Raspberry Pi, comes up. You could do so many things with these devices, and they're $35.
What's going on with the Pi in the car? What's the
So Michael's seen this. Basically, if my car is a Honda HR-V and has a video screen in it, and it actually came with an HDMI port that was built in from the factory in there. So the Raspberry Pi connects.
He made it an infotainment center.
Yeah, and so I have controllers in there. You can game, you can do. But the cool thing is I have it set up so that it only turns on when in park. So you can't, nobody is distracted by it otherwise. But if you put the car in park, the screen pops in, Raspberry Pi turns on, and you can game or do whatever. So if you're sitting in school line waiting to pick up the kids or whatever, you could be sitting there gaming.
Yeah, I saw it itself. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's really
cool.
cool.
About the Docker
Yeah,
thing, aren't you worried about security?
Doggy.
For what I know, Docker isn't like made to run in production.
Oh, I've heard like millions of people, or I don't know millions, but thousands of people have used Docker in production. So
we use Docker a lot in production, in Kubernetes as well as on a variety of platforms. But Docker works great in production.
Yeah, I use Docker for many things in production as well. I mean, I don't think Docker is the most sound solution for everything, but in some cases, I think like Docker is fantastic. Like, I guess it could just be the containerization aspects of like just having it consolidated, but my experience with Docker has been great. Other than the heaviness, it's very heavy.
Well, it's not about the heaviness. I don't remember the exact reason, but I read an article about how the Docker daemon has some like super user permissions or something.
Yeah, they actually, it has been a big problem for many years, but the past, I think 6 months ago is when they switched it. So they actually fixed that problem to solve that. There was a vulnerability that came out because of it, and they did turn it off where super user is not, like sudo is not by default anymore.
And they've made it now so you can enable and disable particular capabilities so that you have a lot less privileged mode to your host and such. So Docker is great, especially from a CI/CD standpoint. So us building Docker containers when someone checks into a Git repo is extremely handy. So when you're building your container to do something just by checking into a repo and having it run through a CI/CD process is awesome. Like it's amazing. It can be deployed and very simply done, taking out a lot of the heaviness of using it. So
yeah, I think your son wants some camera time there. Hello.
He's like, who are all these people?
Your dad's famous. We're all here for him. What's up?
Does anyone have opinions on the
Hello.
System 76 keyboard?
I'm so pumped about this. I want everything I can branded Linux that comes from a Linux company, and I love mechanical keyboards. I'm so happy that they're doing
Was that
this.
picture real?
Yes.
I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest.
Yeah, they're totally doing it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. That was a prototype in progress. The photos that they posted. Yeah.
So I sent a message to Emma when they announced this, and the message was basically like, here's my like wish list of what makes the best keyboard, and it was like, a numpad,
runs
macro
plasma
keys. I actually did say that. Yes.
Well, you're not going to get a numpad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I like
no numpad.
A numpad's not necessary. I just prefer them because they're faster for me because I actually do use.
You can get a separate
a lot
numpad, and then you can get yourself a little Elgato dock there and control everything you need right there, man.
Well, I mean, I already
it's just
have
money. I don't know what the problem is.
I don't need Elgato. I have a ton of keys, so it's fine.
I just showed you a thing with LCDs on it, and you hold up in comparison a blank keyboard. Come on.
Well, one, your camera's off. Two,
well, you can't see. Well, you can see it if you're on my stream. You should be on my stream because it's the greatest.
Well, okay. Anyway, well, what I'm saying is the reason why I use this is because I already have it, and I didn't know the stream that could work. But also because I like to have decisions based on shoe on head principles.
I love that you've embraced that. So this thing with Michael. If you all don't know, is Michael has amazing solutions for a lot of things, and I mean that. And unfortunately, most of his solutions are shoe-on-head type solutions in which you have to go completely around the world to come back to get it to work. They're all ultra-sophisticated solutions for little things like, hey, Michael, how do you set up OBS? 900 scenes later, it's amazing, but you still have to figure out the 900 scenes, That type of stuff.
Well, yeah, it's an amazing experience. It works great. It just takes me a long time to get to that point, and that's. But once you're there, it's great. It's.
And who else has a keyboard with no letters on them,
or can use a keyboard with no letters on it? I don't get this concept. I know people do it. I just don't get it.
I could.
I know only one guy that does it.
Who's that?
Well,
just
Michael.
Curious. Oh, cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Eric just showed his examples.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
I have the Ergodox EZ with no printed keycaps.
That's
there you go.
That Noah is going to buy or has bought.
I'm looking forward to when Tuxedo does those Manjaro laptops where you can get the keyboard completely customized. I want to see someone actually order one of those with a Klingon keyboard.
Klingon keyboard. That is.
I will do that.
What a great idea!
I love that.
Because they said we can totally do that if you want a Klingon keyboard.
That's what I want.
I love it. I want them to do that.
I'm now vested.
They're all.
And I was talking to Philip about it at Manjaro, and he was like, if you ordered one, I mean, the super key could be the Linux for Everyone logo, and I was like, what?
I love how you're debating. Do I support my show with the Linux for Everyone keyboard or go Klingon? That would be tough for me. I don't know which I would choose. I almost need two.
Those two things are not mutually incompatible. You could have the
exactly. You could have a Klingon keyboard with the DasGeek logo if you wanted to, as the super key. Why not?
I love it.
I want to get one of those Romulan cubes that they showed in Picard. Those things look so cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Picard's awesome. If you're all not watching it, it's
loving Picard.
Yeah.
No spoilers though. No spoilers, but episode 7 was the best episode of Star Trek I've seen in so long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not hard because the last time we had basically Voyager and Discovery. So it's like
we had Enterprise.
Enterprise was like 90% good, and they just kind of like
my theory of Enterprise is it was fantastic. It was the theme music of Enterprise that
the theme music was trash. 100%. I mean,
come on, that is not Star Trek.
That theme music. No, you're right, but I liked it. The acting of that Enterprise was fantastic. It was just like the writing was like they were lazy. You know,
And come
Like,
on, a dog on the ship was amazing.
That was nice.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but
also
where
I
would the dog
love
go
the
potty?
idea that
All
they
right.
have a
Porthos
chef.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Season 3 and season 4 were two of the best seasons of any Star Trek. But season 1 and 2 of Enterprise was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I agree with season
Shame.
4 was fantastic. I think there was a lot of great stuff. And I think that Enterprise had the problem of they had like everything that could make a great show. The concept of going back and doing a proper prequel, not a weird Discovery prequel, but doing the proper prequel, and then doing the fact that it had like industrial style ship where it felt like the first version of the ship we would make would be that. Like that is
like that a
so
lot.
good. There were so many pieces that were fantastic, and then the writing was just like, let's make some sci-fi
I
stuff.
love Discovery. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I think Discovery brings Star Trek to a whole new audience. That
I like Discovery.
I
too.
like the change in the Klingons. I think they.
Alex is shaking his head. Alex is not a fan.
How dare you, Alex?
Not a fan.
Alex
I'm
is not
sorry.
like Picard.
There's better writing.
I'm getting my band hammer
Not a
ready.
fan.
We were
Bring
actually. I'm going to do a shameless plug for the Tea Earl Grey Hot podcast. Does anybody?
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
that?
that's a great one.
Yes.
I think there's
Yeah,
many people from.
I think
this
half of
chat have
us
been
have
on there.
actually hosted that show.
Yeah.
So
It's very fun.
Anyway, I'm on episode 30, and we were talking about Picard in general, and this interesting divide. It's a very divisive show because people who loved Next Generation will say, "Well, yeah, great, Picard's here." But it doesn't feel like Star Trek. It doesn't feel like the Next Generation.
But Star Trek nerds
It's
are like
violent
Linux
and it's-
nerds, right?
and
We're
it's
very
negative
picky.
and it's
Okay, I've got a question for you, Star Trek aficionados. Yeah,
Trekkies is what we prefer. Go ahead.
Trekkies. Okay, so why can't you just watch a show and enjoy it?
That's like
for what
saying,
it
why
is?
can't you just pick one
Have to.
distro and
Why
enjoy
do you
it?
have
It
to
never
pick
happens.
Holes in every single. It's a
whole
great
point.
That's
show.
part of the
Just
fun.
watch it and enjoy
That's
it.
part of the fun, Zeb.
Fair enough,
It's
Zeb. but
fandom.
Why can't
That's
you
just
play
fandom.
pixelated games and just enjoy it?
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
game,
come on.
Zeb. Just because it's pixelated doesn't take away from the fun.
It does.
So Zeb, for me, what makes Star Trek great was more Next Generation, because I think that's the pinnacle, and all the rest are basically bottom feeders compared to it. But anyway,
how dare you?
Deep Space Nine is okay. But what I think is for me, like for Star Trek, was that it took me to a place of optimism and hope, and the idea that there's better things are coming no matter what turmoil we might be in right now. It's this idea and belief that this Roddenberry belief, which by the way, Roddenberry actually was not that good of a guy, really, which kind of made me sad when I found out. But anyway, his idea, his story, sorry, and that we're not going after greedy things, or we're venturing out to expand the human status, to become smarter, to become more knowledgeable, to grow as individuals. And Star Trek really spoke that to me. Things like the Next Generation episode with Barclay. Do you remember Reginald Barclay?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody here? No, got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how he had a hard time integrating, and they really made an effort to integrate him into the group. They really worked hard to make him, to help him out and help him through whatever his difficulty was.
That's what we've been doing in the
Things like
network
that.
with you.
I know, and that's why I love you guys. Because I am Reginald Barclay. I'm
because you're not a true Trekkie and don't like Discovery. We're trying to integrate you into the group.
Bumbling idiot, and you kind of worked me through that. Anyway, so that's
I think Barclay's one of the best characters in.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, character. He is, and I think that there's a lot of things about like the Next Generation Trek that just had the core fundamentals were of just such optimism and the best of what humanity has to offer. And I don't feel like Discovery gives me that feeling. In fact, when I watch Discovery, I feel like I need to like cleanse by watching Next Generation.
I kind of feel the same way about Picard. It's like when you're all human gloom in TV and in life in general, it's all about that escapism that people want. And if you're all human gloom all the time and you try to write for said show, try to be hopeful, because that's kind of what Star Trek is, like that escapism that everything is gonna be okay. This is what we got pointed towards.
Yeah, humanity's gonna get to a point where we're better, type of thing. Yeah,
it's a good point,
actually, we act like a species rather than just a bunch of disparate groups.
hoarders of toilet paper.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
And then you go to
totally
Walmart and realize what the world really is.
Yeah.
That's
So, I
unfortunately
think
that's true.
I think the point about like the not doom and gloom thing, but I also point out that when I say that Picard is a show that like you have to justify why would Picard get back into the thing after 30 years. So it has to be the significant reason for him to come back. And I think the way they did it was an interesting approach. Well,
Money.
You mean the
that's
series?
not true. No, that's not true.
We're not talking about the actor.
Every 5 years, Patrick Stewart was offered to come back, and they would keep giving him more money. And like he's like, nope, don't want to do it.
Yeah,
like he only came back because he thought he liked the idea of what the path of the story. So I think that there's something that has to happen in order to justify him coming back. But there are certain like I watched the first 2 episodes and then stopped watching, not because I didn't like it. It was just because it was not a priority for me because it was well done. Like visually, I actually liked some of the story aspects, but it also felt like it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like the best. Like it wasn't what I wanted it to be, sort of thing. But it was 1,000 times better than Discovery.
It just felt an old man trying to relive his prime. That's what it felt like to me. It just ruined it. I can't watch it now. I have to go back and watch, the Star Trek that he was in because I just see an old man trying to do something that he can't do anymore.
I don't know. When I see the cameos, when I saw Picard, I got geek chills. I was so in from the moment he was there, and some of the callback lines and stuff from the old series. It made me so happy in my heart to see these people back that were such a big part of my childhood. I don't know. I couldn't.
I
I
think
mentioned all the Easter eggs were great with Soji.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I love the fact that
No spoilers, guys.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm
spoilers.
going to give you one thing that was an Easter egg that I love. That it was
not
so
spoiled, I'm just gonna
subtle.
give it to you.
No, it was an Easter egg that was on the first episode. It's also not a spoiler of any kind. It's more of a well, it kind of is. But it was already said.
Okay,
earlier,
this
so
is not
technically it's
spoiler.
Can we
This is
get to the
spoiler.
point?
Stop there.
Listen. So someone said Romulan cubes, so that's not my fault. So anyway, there's this part where I like Discovery is like for me he felt like it wasn't Star Trek. Picard does feel like Star Trek, and they multiple different cases where they showed like the Easter eggs are so vast. Like every episode has at least 10 to 20 Easter eggs. And the first episode had an Easter egg that I loved because it was modernized. And it was when they revealed the Borg cube, they didn't tell you like who's in the cube, sort of like exactly, but they kind of like reveal it with
Don't you tell us.
music and then they show you. But they show you who it is, but they reveal it with music that before they actually show you what's happening, they tell you with music if you get this Easter egg. And I love the fact that they did that because the music for that what they used is a modern version of the original Romulan music from the original series when they first introduced the Romulans in the original series.
You are such a nerd that you know that.
But it's amazing though. I love the fact that they put the effort in to do that.
Keep watching the show. The entire staff behind the music on this show is genius, and that happens all the time. I wanted to. So Tim,
I do keep watching it.
Bye, Gab.
Tim-
Thanks for
Tim
showing up, man.
Harless.
Everyone, check
Yes,
out
hey,
Tech
see
ya.
Pills. If you're not a subscriber to Tech Pills, check it out. YouTube channel. Thanks, Gab.
Thanks for the shout out.
Thanks for coming.
It's been fun as always,
ya.
guys. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
So Tim, I just wanted to say this comment. It's in my YouTube chat. Tim said he doesn't enjoy Picard as much as TNG or the others because of the cussing and the acting as if the people are in today's culture. That's
true. That has bothered
That is an
me.
interesting observation because that I do feel like I'm watching people in my current.
I have to say, the first time I heard them start cursing and things like that, it really took me out of the zone of Star Trek because that was kind of like they had evolved past that at that point of utilizing that type of language. And I like how Battlestar Galactica handled it. If you come up with like
Made up new words.
a new curse word that doesn't exist, and
it was clever.
That was very clever way of handling it. And I feel like they're like, hey, it's cable now. You know, people have to pay for it, so we can ramp it up. But you know, one of the great things about TNG is one of the great things about how Destination Linux, I think, has always been is that you can let your kids watch it. Whereas now with Picard, I can't, and that's frustrating.
Agreed.
Yeah, that is a bummer. I mean, especially, and I'm going to warn anybody who is letting their kids watch it, you're going to stop doing that from like episode 7 or 8 because it's brutal. I mean, I enjoy
very
it, of
violent,
course, but it is incredibly violent and very disturbing. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that when I said it feels like Star Trek, I would say like the first 2 episodes kind of felt like Star Trek, but that doesn't. You know, that sounds.
I mean, it's more realistic in the fact that when Klingons pull out, what is the Battle Wrath?
Batleth.
There you go. Yeah. And and they're hitting people in the original series. They just fall back and they're perfectly, there's no blood, there's no nothing. So I guess there's some realism they've brought to it with the technology and stuff. But I don't think we needed it. We didn't need that.
Their culture should still be the same culture, right? Like it shouldn't. Like it feels like it's very much turmoil in their realm right now.
It feels like after. Well, shoot, I don't know how deep we can get without going into spoilers.
It feels like a dystopian future.
I think we should just.
Yeah, Alex, it does a little bit feel like a dystopian
depends
future.
on how much you've played Star Trek Online, because CBS has controlled the entire timeline in that game, and it's canon with now the Picard series. So you go through the storyline that they put in that. Yeah, what? CBS has controlled all the timelines. They own it all. Everything that they do or everything that they allow is canon. And so the Star Trek Online directly reflects now the Picard series. And so if you've gone through that, it opens up to what this future is like now.
So that's interesting, but I think some of the Star Trek Online stories are good and some of them are just don't feel like Star Trek, but I think that's also like it just feels like there are so many awesome franchises in this or series in the franchise that it just seems like that it's trying to be unique for the sake just for the sake of being unique. And I don't think that that's really that valuable. They should be, still be unique, but still feel like Star Trek. And I think that's where the issue comes from.
Yeah, that's the issue for me too.
It doesn't and also Discovery is the worst example of it not feeling like Star Trek. Even though I don't like Voyager, it still felt like Star Trek. Even though there were certain parts of Enterprise I didn't like, it still felt like a Star Trek series, and it was a good attempt. It didn't work out exactly like I wanted it to, but it was still Star Trek. And Discovery was like not remotely Star Trek. It's like they were just it was like someone who is in a parallel universe writing something and just like, you know what I'm going to call this Star Trek. Okay. It's like this is completely different. Yeah, it just felt like that. And Picard feels like sort of Star Trek, but also like Discovery-esque, where it's kind of like leaning too far into the Discovery part. And I also just hate the Discovery Klingons because I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah,
I love the fact that they spoke Klingon like consistently. Like, why are they speaking English? And the only time they ever spoke English was to like give emphasis of like the thing that they hate about about the Federation. Like, I like that part. It was just like they look nothing like Klingons. They're like, well, it's a new series. No, it's a prequel. It's in between where they don't have how do they go from being like smooth foreheads into the bumpy foreheads, but in the middle of that they're monsters? Like, what?
Yeah, but the language is so cool that they will go through entire scenes where they're speaking Klingon the entire time versus just kind of little blurbs like you saw in The Next Generation. It was like the whole show they're talking in this other language and really embracing that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Meh.
I do love that part.
Don't you meh me. Don't you meh me.
Line, I'm glad that we have some new entertaining Star Trek.
There you go.
Yes.
That's
but I will always say Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek.
Wrong.
And I know.
Next Generation.
Damn right.
Dude.
No.
Okay, no. Michael,
Let's go.
I am
Let's go.
almost to the end of season 2 of Deep Space Nine, and I'm just not seeing it, man.
I love
No.
You have to hang on a little longer.
Just a little longer.
Season 3. Okay, here.
When
this
the
is where I talk-
Dominion
listen,
comes.
The original series.
No, when Worf moves on the series, that's when it picks up.
No. Worf helps. Yes, Worf does make it good.
Tremendously.
He does make it good, but that's not what makes it good. So here's
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
a
The
thing.
Dominion
This is a
Wars,
thing.
right?
Listen, there's a thing that Star Trek does that only happened twice, but it still is kind of a pattern. You know how Star Trek Next Generation, where it got good, the first season was okay, it was good, but it wasn't like the best, right? Until Riker grew a beard. The same thing in reverse happens in Deep Space Nine. When Sisko shaves his head, it becomes a completely different show, and it's awesome. And the reason is because there was a movie that the guy who played Avery Brooks, the guy who plays is that his name? I don't know. Avery something.
That's correct.
Yep, Avery Brooks. Yep.
Yeah, he played a character named Hawk with a shaved head, and the studio felt like he would be associated to that character, so they insisted that he have hair for a certain amount of time, and then they're like, yeah, it's fine now. Then they let him relax and let him be in like an actual like different person, like he could like grow into the character. It turned it into a different show, and it was so much better. And there were so many episodes that are amazing, like the episode of like.
Let me just help everybody out. Let me
stuff.
help everybody out. It goes like this: Arch, XFCE, The Next Generation, greatest things out there. Case closed. Let's move on.
You're forgetting the original series and the animated series.
The animated series, Nico said. Why is nobody talking about that being the best?
How about I'll give you a
We're all
compromise.
trying to forget about it. It's because. No,
James,
I'll give you a compromise. I'll give you a compromise. TNG is the best Star Trek. You know, it's the best Star Trek. Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek.
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can accept this.
I would almost rank
Rocco's
it.
been suspiciously quiet during the Star Trek.
Because he doesn't
talk.
care about Star Trek.
So no, he's
I
a
could
huge
care
fan of
less
Star
about
Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh, come
I
on,
care
Rock.
less, dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
They're
disappointed
all good in
you.
their own way.
Okay,
I think
so-
he's playing. I think it's because he's playing PSO2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I, watched some of the Star Treks, but I am in no way any fan of
You're not one of those silly Star Wars fans, are you?
Babylon 5.
Why can't we be both?
You can't.
I like Star Wars also.
Why can't you be? Why can't you
No,
like
the
it all?
universe will explode.
I watched Babylon 5. I watched Star Trek. I watched Star Wars. I watched it all.
To be honest with you, I would have to say that I do like Star Wars a little bit better than Star Trek.
You would.
Sorry.
Phantom Menace, #1 episode.
You would.
Don't forget about Firefox.
Firefly.
It was technically number
Firefly
one.
is a
Yes,
Firefox.
but
Firefly, and then there's
Firefly, the brown coats
Firefly
unite.
is amazing.
Yeah, Firefly,
Firefly was
awesome.
amazing.
Firefly
But, like,
was good.
I think we all can agree that you can be a fan of both Star Wars and Star
DJ
Trek
Hooker,
as long as
right?
Star
Yes.
Trek is the top one.
Yes, agreed.
Oh,
100%.
Red Dwarf
Those are
from
facts.
the chat. Red
Abstain
Dwarf.
from
Now,
offering my
see,
opinion.
I'm a fan of Star Wars more for the books than the actual. Because before Disney took over and took all the canon away and basically threw the books out. There's hundreds and hundreds of Star Wars books. I pretty much read them all. And then that is where you get to the meat potatoes of the Star Wars universe. Now, Star Trek, I never read any of the books, but I definitely watched the TV series because in the movie.
Star Wars books are
doesn't really have
definitely
a TV series other than like Clone Wars.
Well,
and
no, you got
Rebels.
the Mandalorian, which is
now,
amazing,
but I'm saying, like,
That's
absolutely
actually
amazing.
sensational.
Multiple-
Well, did you guys see that they're actually going to have Ahsoka Tano now? On
Yes, I'm
Mandalorian?
so excited about that.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
The Mandalorian is good because they completely ignore every aspect of Star Wars.
It's a man with no name Western set in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
That's what it
it's
is.
so good.
And
The
it's-
reason
it's
why
so
it feels like
well
Star
done.
Wars is that
So
they
well-
don't
oh,
try
it
to
does.
overdo it.
Yeah.
Like
So
they
we-
don't try to overdo the rest of it. Like that's what I love about the Mandalorian. By the way, the tech to make Mandalorian is amazing. That is a
So we've got
really cool
7
system.
minutes left. So do we want to do some
Probably, yeah.
shout outs here and
I
finish
do
up?
want to say one thing that this, I'm not about Star Wars or whatever, but anyway, I just want to point out to something.
He won't
PC
ever
Freak
stop.
is in
Never.
in Zoom. PC,
Never.
I am shush. So PC Freak is in the patron chat, and he's the one with the QR code. And I really want to point out the fact that I love the fact that this is a subtle plug for his GitHub project, So if you actually scan the QR code, it will open a GitHub project to the Raspberry Pi signage thing we covered on the show. Like, I love that. You know, I'm a marketing person, so I'm a fan of something like that because it's just subtle and no one brought attention to it. As soon as he put it on, there's like, scan, yes, let's bring attention to it.
There you go. You could do signage. So Rocco, Big Daddy Linux live tonight.
Tonight at 8 p.m.
Tonight at 8 p.m. So if you need some other great conversation and distraction from all the chaos and craziness going on, check out Big Daddy Live tonight. And you can search YouTube just for Big Daddy Linux, right? And come across it that way.
Yep.
All right. And we've got Jason Evangelo here from Linux for Everyone. So check out his podcast and his YouTube channel. We've got Michael here from Tux Digital. So check out that and Destination Linux podcast, which I'm a part of as well.
We partially have Ryan here on his channel where you can see his camera.
Well, if you're on the DasGeek channel, you can see me, and I'm beautiful. I'm so beautiful today.
Somehow you haven't figured out how to do it both.
Shh, Rocco. Don't check out Big Daddy Linux tonight at 8 p.m. Do not go there no matter what. They hate Star Trek over there on that channel, I hear. You've got Wendy from Hardware Addicts as well, so make sure you're checking out Hardware Addicts. You've got Eric Adams and Nate here from DLN Extend to check out. And does anybody else have something they want to shout out? Feel free to do so.
Just that I'm looking forward to the Lower Decks Star Trek show that's going to be coming out eventually. The cartoon.
Oh, really?
Nice.
There is one? I didn't know there was.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's called Lower Decks. It's going to be about junior officers.
Saturday morning cartoon on
I don't
CBS. That'd be cool if they brought that back.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for coming and hanging out with us and chatting. Thank you for all the patrons for supporting all the shows.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Destination Linux Network. Check that out if you want more content.
Oh,
yeah.
Never mind, Wendy answered. 8 p.m. Eastern, right? Okay.
Eastern
for
time.
Rocco.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just say check out Tea Earl Grey Hot this weekend, episode 30.
That too.
We're talking Picard. So
you're on
don't
Tea
listen to
Earl
it if
Grey
you haven't
Hot
seen it
this upcoming episode, Jason. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
we recorded
nice,
it
man.
Wednesday, so it was a lot of fun. I love doing that show.
Yeah, that show is fun.
Mainly
and
because I don't have to edit. That.
Yes,
That
that is the
makes
best
every
part
show
about
better.
it. Yeah, the best part. Like there was actually a part where when I got on the first, because I was on the episode 2 of this season or something. I don't remember what number it was, but we talked about Picard episode 2, and they were like in the things like I think we're supposed to change our name now because he changed his order from TL Grey Hot to TL Grey Decaf. And it's like that's some branding issues right there.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah.
Well, it's been good chatting with all you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again.
And this is fun.
We'll do
We're
it again.
definitely going to do it again next month, April. We haven't picked a date yet, but we will announce that date in the Telegram and on the Discourse forum. So be sure to join those. DestinationLinux.network/forum, just because it's easier to say it that way. And also Telegram group was DestinationLinux.network/Telegram. So you want to be notified when we do it that way.
Yep, and thank you to everyone for the super chats. And again, if you become a patron of anybody's show on Destination Linux Network, you can join us next month. We'll be doing this again. And thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see some of you all on Big Daddy Linux later on tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone be
Go play
safe.
Phantasy Star Online too.
Fantasy Star Online too.